The ether is the grand unified field, and we have to acknowledge it as a metaphysical force. See, physics and metaphysics should never have been separated. We need to acknowledge the unmanifest. There are things that are not physical, but they exist. Our thoughts, we are thinking, thoughts are not physical. We might have brain waves are physical, but the thoughts are not. Feelings, emotions, I feel a feeling. That's not physical, but you feel it. You can't prove your feeling, it's not physical, it's metaphysical. Mathematics itself is not physical. So if you're going to deny anything non-physical, you better deny mathematics. No modern scientists are going to deny mathematics. Entire quantum mechanics is very complex mathematics, but that in itself is not a physical thing. And the problem is with the ether, it's esoteric science. And esoteric science is very confusing. And in many different schools, mystery schools, all telling you something slightly different. But the only universal esoteric science, there is one universal esoteric science, and that is mathematics. Mathematics itself is an esoteric science. And you've got to wrap your head around that. Mathematics is not physical. Mathematics is esoteric knowledge. It is the ether. It is the chi. The ether is mathematics. It's a non-physical thing. It's information, pure consciousness. And this pure consciousness, this pure field of ether, manifests itself into reality. And when this pure fluid field of ether, metaphysical, unmanifest force, it appears as electromagnetism. So electromagnetism is the manifest force that we can see and detect. But even that is a pure fluid field. Pure fluid field. And the best word to describe that is the dielectric field. You see, it's dielectricity and magnetism, two functions. You have dielectricity, which is a voltage, a potential of energy, and then magnetism is a force, where this wants to pull back together again. You see, energy is created, and energy wants to return back to inertia, disappear again. So magnetism is the force pulling it back together again. So it's a very, very different science, and the fundamental, one of the main fundamental differences is the first law of thermodynamics. See, modern science tells you, first law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Well, this is flat out wrong, flat out wrong. Because of that law, you can't have a free energy machine, but we can have a free energy machine. So therefore, first law of thermodynamics is wrong. And in fact, it's so wrong, it's completely the opposite. Energy is continually being created and destroyed. The universe is continually creating itself and destroying itself. And I talk about that through the whole lecture series. But this magnet is emitting a force. There's a force coming out of here. Here's another magnet. See? It pulls inwards that way and it pushes outwards that way. So if you look at it this way, force is being propelled away. Something is coming out. But this side, it's going in. The universe is destroying itself and the universe is creating itself. And it's all happening in the midpoint. Inside this magnet, there is a point of inertia, a tiny point right in the middle of the field. And this point is infinitesimally small. And in this point, there is nothing. This is where ether is becoming electromagnetism. And from this point of inertia, electromagnetism appearing and disappearing back in again. It's very, very deep, totally different philosophy. Free energy is set up by a geometry. It's movement and geometry. It's got nothing to do with transforming energy. See, Tesla's AC generator is manifesting electricity. It is creating electricity out of the ether. It is not transforming kinetic energy to electric energy. Now, the easiest way to explain this is look at a very simple dynamo. Very simple. You have a circle of wire like this, and then you have a magnet. You put a magnet through the wire like this, and you have to pump this magnet in and out. And if you move this magnet in and out of the wire, what happens is you get a current coming out. You'll get a current coming out of the wire, this coil of wire. So you'd think the kinetic energy of pumping this is creating this, is being converted into electrical energy, but it's not. You'd have to calculate the kinetic energy and it would have to be equal to the electric energy, and it won't be. But actually the energy I put into this is irrelevant. It's just the movement. It's just a movement. Now the other analogy to look at is we think it's like this. There's an old-fashioned water pump. I don't know if you know these old-fashioned water pumps. They've got a big handle like this, and then they go deep underground into the well, and here's the water. And you pump this handle up and down, pump, pump, pump. And what happens is, if you start pumping, first of all, it's easy. You're pumping easy because no water's coming up, just air. And then suddenly the water starts coming up, and now you have to work hard. Oh, now the water's coming, and you can feel it. Each lever is pumping the water up, pumping the water up, pumping the water up. So this is, you feel it, there's more work to be done to get the water up. First of all, it's easy, no water. Oh, now the water starts, pump, pump. You'd think it's the same with this. It should be the same thing. If this is converting kinetic energy into electricity, I should be pumping through, and then when the electricity comes out, oh, now it's harder work. I've got to really hard now. Now I'm pumping the electricity to come out. But it's not. You see, we can prove this very simply. You put a switch here, so you disconnect it. You disconnect it and you start pumping. And then you close the switch, you connect it, and then you start pumping. And the electricity comes out. But it's the same amount of work. It's not suddenly harder work. Oh, now electricity is coming out. I've got to convert this work into electricity. No, it's simply movement and geometry. And this manifests the electricity. It is manifest, created. So this is if you understand that, free energy is perfectly possible. And the problem is there's a lot of fake machines out there. A lot of this stuff is fake, so you've got to use your discernment, think about it to see what's the real one and what's not. But the principles are real. So making a free energy machine is not a big deal. The big deal is how to get it out there. How do we get it out there? Because they won't let it get out there. That's where the decentralization comes in. We need a decentralized communications network that we can share the information to everyone, get the machines out. But you have to let go of the idea of using the system. You can't use the patent office. You can't try and sell it because they won't like that. You have to give it away. Okay, it's a big deal. We have to change our whole mindset about this.